page.
There was another one. I believe there was SouljaGame.com.
No, I think there's gonna be SouljaTech.
SouljaGame goes to Nintendo.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. So, see if you can find the tweet, because it's buried in here. And I think this is kind of interesting, because for how much whining and belly aching and name calling and grandstanding this idiot did, all of a sudden there's this just little whimper, this tiny little whimper. I had to boss up. I didn't have a choice. Oh, sorry. With his little emoji icon. I don't normally get this mean with people, but he called my community burdensome bundles of sticks and mentally challenged people, to put it in polite terminology. And I don't like that. That isn't the way we have to conduct ourselves. This is a artist. This is a rapper. This is a person who writes words down and speaks them for money. And these are the words he comes up with? This is a multi-millionaire who claims that he wants to be a billionaire someday? I don't know. It seems like he spends his money too fast because he suddenly needs another $20 million now or whatever. Like, he just had this World Poker Fund. He called it a $500 million deal. It's actually a $50 million deal that might be worth $500 if he does his job and grows the business and sells his stock at the appropriate time.
I mean,
that's $500 million. And this guy has to go call gamers names because they called him out on his cheap console.
I mean, bear in mind, he only was like a one-hit wonder, so obviously he can't be that good with words.
Well, I appreciate that, but he did have multiple hits. He had at least 2 songs hit #1 and at least 1 album hit like #4. But yeah, pretty soon after whatever was revolutionary about his music, because I don't listen to it, I don't know what it is. But pretty soon after he released his music, it wasn't as popular anymore. I don't know if he was, like you said, a one-hit wonder, or maybe his direct-to-the-internet distribution model caught on and better artists started doing that, and so there wasn't as much demand for independent Soulja Boy. I don't know. And he would have been 17 at the time, so maybe it was also the fact that he was so young and now he's a 28-year-old man. I don't know.
Check the screenshot I just sent.
Well, keep waiting. The games were licensed to us. Why y'all want to see a black man fail so bad? So much hate. I knew you wouldn't do something like that without getting permission first.
He retweeted that. That's how I found it. He retweeted, I knew you wouldn't do something like that without getting permission.
And yet it appears he did not get permission. And let's verify it. I mean, I found this out at 2 o'clock in the morning, but let's go to the website and take a look for ourselves. This is SouljaWatch.com. This is not my normal browser. I don't have any blocking or filters on here or anything.
It does seems to be updated slightly now, but...
No, that was the homepage. This was what we were looking at before, this collections of all products.
I've never seen that home page.
There was another one. I believe there was SouljaGame.com.
No, I think there's going to be SouljaTech.
SouljaGame goes to Nintendo.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. So let me guess here. God. He had to turn over Soulja to me. This is supposed to be SouljaTech. Hang on. SouljaTech. So SouljaTech is still up, but does not actually have any games on it.
It doesn't have any products on that.
Any products whatsoever. Here's the shop. New products coming soon.
His watch is gone. Watch is gone.
I still see the watch on Soulja Watch.
Yeah, the Apple products are still there.
There's still Apple knockoffs on SouljaWatch.com.
I cannot believe this old.
In my opinion, they are Apple knockoffs. Just being clear here, because I can't. But this looks an awful lot like AirPods that have been like knockoff AirPods that have been renamed SouljaPods, a knockoff Apple Watch that's renamed a Soulja Watch, and this looks an awful lot like Beats headphones that have been renamed Soulja headphones. Does this guy have like a complex that he's not Dr. Dre or somebody? Is that what this is about? Like, I gotta go make my name by being like everybody else. We should go look up cargo cult science again, because that's what this guy is doing. The cargo cults were a real thing in the was it the Philippines and other Asian Pacific islands. There is a real thing where they will try and copycat the prosperity that was brought with the Korean War, World War II, the Korean War. I can't remember if there were any other conflicts in the Philippines, but this was a phrase used by Richard Feynman, one of my favorite physicists, and he said, "In the South Seas, there is a cargo cult of people. During the war, they saw airplanes land with lots of good materials. They want to see the same thing happen now. So they've arranged to imitate things like runways, fires along the sides of runways, makes a wooden hut for a man to sit in, with 2 wooden pieces on his head like headphones, and bars of bamboo sticks sticking out like antennas. He's the controller, and they wait for the airplanes to land. They're doing everything right. The form is perfect. It looks exactly the way it looked before. Of course it doesn't work. No airplanes land. So I call these things cargo cult science because they follow all the apparent precepts and forms of scientific investigation, but they're missing something essential because the planes don't land." So that's what Soulja's doing, is he's just copying what other rap artists do and hoping that prosperity comes his way, instead of apparently working on writing better music or something. I really don't know. Or maybe just being happy with the millions of dollars he has and living a reasonable life with what he's... I'm not saying that I'm not doing the same thing in a way. I try to figure out what other YouTubers do and do the things that they do right. The difference is in the form. I'm trying to follow the substance, whereas it appears like he's trying to follow the form. Let's do a who is on SouljaGame.com. 12.5. It was created on 12.5, registered to GoDaddy. It does not say who registered it or who owns it.
They have who is privacy on it, looks like.
Yeah. However, when was Soulja Boy's game console announced? It was early December. His Rolling Stone article was December 7th.
Yes.
Do you think that Nintendo went out and registered this when he announced? No, I think Soulja Boy went out and registered this, and as part of his stipulation with Nintendo, he had to take SouljaGame.com. I'm going to copy paste this so you know that I'm not typing in something weird. So SouljaGame.com, we type it in and it gets a 302, I don't know, can we find out if that's a 301 redirect as a permanent redirect or just a temporary? It should be a temporary one. But
something we need Cerulean probably for.
But yeah, it redirects to Nintendo.com. So that to me is the proof that Soulja Boy did get something from Nintendo, caved to Nintendo's demands, and as part of his settlement, he had to pull his products, not ship them, refund the money, and turn over the domain. Since Soulja Watch is not infringing automatically, and since Soulja Tech was not infringing automatically, it was only SouljaGame, which was the thing that was tied directly to his infringing consoles, allegedly infringing consoles, that was turned over. To me, that's enough circumstantial evidence to call it, but I would also love to hear if there's a public statement from Mr. Boy. I love this Mr. Boy name. Yeah, we started it as a joke yesterday. I started calling him Mr. Boy and it stuck. So Mr. Way, Mr. Boy.
Kotaku wonders whether it could be a temporary injunction. I don't think it ever got that far. I think this was just Nintendo like talking to Soulja, being like, "Come on, man, get real." Like,
yeah, this is not something that's been happening publicly. This is a cease and desist, would be what we would call this in the law. Soulja Boy would have gotten a a cease and desist letter, like you've seen on the internet, you know, hey, we're from Nintendo, we own these properties, we see your thing, and we think that you're either about to infringe, or you've already infringed, or you are so close to infringement that we really want to sue you. You should know that this carries these penalties, and we're going to pursue these penalties. And also something I found out after we released our video, there is a criminal component to copyright infringement that involves like a second offense or third offense. Now, you could argue that this first offense maybe, you know, wasn't selling game consoles, so maybe this is his first copyright infringement offense for selling game consoles, but he has been sued for copyright infringement before, so I don't know if you necessarily call this his first offense. And once you're on the second offense, that's when you can start to face jail time. Again, not likely that anyone would ever have gone to jail for this, but it is a criminal law, much more likely that he would have faced extraordinarily high fines.
I still like Grims's J comment, we will send a plumber off to you.
We'll send the plumber. Yeah. Evil Mario from Smash
Could you
Brothers.
imagine just like being served by somebody dressed up as Mario?
I'm sorry.
Ooh, thank you. You've just identified $1 million business for me. Service of process in character.
Service.
I mean, no offense, but if I would get served by Mario, I probably want to break them off.